Hi and welcome back to a Speedpaint video. I haven't posted in a while, but honestly I want to get back into creating video and trying to create some content. This video itself is a little late, but I still wanted to make it regardless. I can draw whatever I want, whenever I want. No one can stop me. Slay. So at the beginning of June, me and my boyfriend went to the Pokemon International Championships, or NAIC for short. I'm gonna refer to it as NAIC. It's a lot easier to say. And this was the first time I actually went to any type of Pokemon tournament, and it was really fun. I had a great time. So today I'm making a Pokemon card of the dude who actually won the video game championships. His name is Patrick Connors, and I'm drawing him with probably the most important Pokemon he had on his team, which was Pelipper. Every time that Pelipper would show up on screen, the whole crowd went wild. Pelipper was definitely a fan favorite, and I really liked him as well. But I'm just drawing a moment from the final match because it was really intense, and I thought it would be nice to just make a little Pokemon card. It's a little late because he won like a couple weeks ago, but here I am. Anyways, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about the actual event. So the actual reason that I went was because my boyfriend was coming down and he was actually competing in the event. And I'm in a long distance relationship, so any opportunity to see my boyfriend, I will go see him. And also just the event seemed pretty fun, and I'm actually interested in Pokemon a little bit. So my boyfriend competed and he did all right. He won 2 times out of the 9 rounds that you played on the first day, which honestly wasn't too bad. Competitive Pokemon in this specific season or regulation is actually pretty difficult from what I have gathered. So, you know, he didn't do too bad. The championship was June 7th through the 9th. And it was in New Orleans this year, which I am from New Orleans. So it was like the perfect opportunity for me not to spend a lot of money and go to a tournament. The way that the tournament was structured, there's 3 days. Day 1 for me was a lot of waiting around, but for the specifically the video game competitors, there was 9 rounds of games. And basically how the tournament is structured is it's through Swiss rounds, and that means everyone plays in every round. And after each round, the players with the same record get paired up. So, if one of you both lost, 1 round, but you also won 1 round, then you get paired up with someone with the same record. Which is honestly pretty nice that they don't, kick you out immediately. I like that they don't immediately kick you out and still let you actually have fun and actually participate in the event you paid for. But day 1 was a lot of me waiting around. And I am sort of familiar with competitive Pokemon, but sometimes I didn't really know what was going on. So I was just sitting there watching whoever was on stage and trying my best to understand enough of what was going on. For the most part, I understood it. Pokemon is a kid's game, but competitive Pokemon is kind of intense, and there's a lot of different things going on, surprisingly. Another thing about this particular event is that there was also different tournaments for each game. So they had tournaments for Pokemon Go, the Pokemon video game, the trading card game, and then Pokemon Unite. So basically, I was seated right in front of the video game tournament screen, but there was also 3 other screens beside me. So I was in the VGC section, but right to my left, there was Pokemon Go in my other ear. It was lower, but it was still loud enough to hear it. And then to my right, there was the trading card tournament to my other ear. So I was trying my best to focus on what was going on in the video game, but it was very difficult. Honestly, it was like overstimulating most of the time being there, but I still had a good time. Everyone there was so nice. The judges were super nice. Some random people who I talked to were really nice. Honestly, the competitive Pokemon community seems really nice, but I could also be wrong. I haven't been like really active in the community very, very long, or basically like ever, but I enjoyed my time at this particular event. Anyways, there was day 2, which was like the semifinals. I don't remember if there was like 6 or 7 rounds. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a lot more intense. It was top 8, I believe, and we were watching every single match in the bracket. But the energy on semifinals day was a lot more excited and intense. There was a lot more people in the crowd because most of the competitors hadn't moved on to the second day. There was about 900, almost 1,000 competitors in specifically the VGC category. And, you know, semifinals was only like 8 people. So a lot of people were watching. But the build-up was amazing. It was very fun to watch most matches. And day 3 was probably the most intense. The finals match was crazy. Me and my boyfriend got there early so we could like get a good seat. So we got pretty good seats. We got close up. So the final match was between Patrick Connors and Aurelian Sola. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correct. The hype for this match was very intense. The thing about Patrick Connors is he had only made top 64 in 2 Orlando regionals, and that was like the only major thing that he competed in, I believe. So you kind of already have like this underdog story going on. So a lot of people were rooting for Patrick in the room. You know, we wanted to see a dude who's only gotten top 64. We wanted to see him win. And then it was versus Aurelian. So compared to Patrick, Aurelian has a lot more placements in certain tournaments. So for instance, he got top 8 in the European International Championships and World's top 8 in 2022. But just because Patrick's placements in tournaments weren't as high as Aurelian, the match was still amazing. The match itself did not disappoint. It was so freaking crazy. I'm only gonna recap a little section of the match, but if you want, you could like go watch it because they have like a 30-minute recording of it. And also you could see me and my boyfriend on the live stream. There was this funny like thing going on the entire time at the convention. Is anytime you would see the crowd and like see you on the screen, if you had a Pokemon plushie, you would lift it in the air and just throw it at the camera, just being like stupid. But every time me and my boyfriend and a bunch of other people would lift up their plushies, and literally everyone was doing it. It's so funny. I think the craziest part of the match was the last round. So Patrick and Aurelian both won once, but the last round, you know, would decide who would win the actual championships. So the craziest thing is both of Patrick's Pokemon out on the field had gotten paralyzed by Aurelian. So both he had Calyrex, Ice Rider, and Pelipper out on the field. Patrick's Pokemon broke through the paralysis majority of the time. You know, as the match keeps going, it gets more intense. And it's really like down to the wire between Patrick and Aurelian. Patrick had taken out 2 of Aurelian's Pokemon, and Patrick still had all of his Pokemon out on the field. So already Aurelian was at a disadvantage, but, you know, he could have possibly brought it back because both of Patrick's Pokemon were paralyzed. But basically, Patrick's Pokemon did not give up and powered through the paralysis. And the craziest part was when specifically Pelipper hit that weather ball. And that's what I'm drawing specifically in the card art. That was probably the most like crazy part of the match. When Pelipper hit that weather ball, so many people got up. The crowd went wild. But basically that weather ball took down Aurelian's Chiyu. And yeah, we knew it. The game was over. Patrick took out all of Aurelian's Pokemon. And Patrick did not lose a single Pokemon as well. So that was also another layer of like crazy to the match. If you know nothing about Pokemon, you're probably like so confused. Like, what is she talking about? Why is this girl talking about a video game for children? It's a very fun video game for children, especially the competitive scene. I really enjoyed it. I loved NAIC. It was very fun. Another thing is I had so much fun at the tournament. After day 2, I actually bought Scarlet so I can actually try to play competitive, and I'm gonna try to compete at least like once or twice, maybe this year. So maybe I can make some Pokemon videos or something. I don't know. Another thing is that I made Incineroar stickers. I printed out 100 of them and I wanted to hand them out. And I'm really shy, like, especially with a lot of strangers, but I was determined to hand them out, and I handed majority of them out. Everyone there who got them was super nice about it. A lot of people seem to love the stickers. Another thing is when my boyfriend was at the airport, he gave Aurelian a sticker that I made, and Aurelian put it on his suitcase, and I don't know, that just made me like so happy. I think stickers were a good idea. I think every tournament I go to, I might try to do like some kind of like thing to hand out, just because it's like cute and it's fun. So yeah, my main goal is I'm gonna try to compete in some kind of tournament. And the greatest thing is that they're going to have the championships in New Orleans again next year, which makes me so happy because this city needs more stuff. New Orleans is definitely a city with character, and Louisiana itself is definitely a questionable state, but I do like that they're having the event here again. I really liked how this artwork came out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm a YouTuber now, suddenly. And see you next time.